For 37 nights, someone left flowers outside Olivia Bennett's apartment. Always at exactly midnight. Never a bouquet from a florist, never a card, just beautiful white roses wrapped in brown paper. At first, Olivia thought it was romantic. Then it became frightening, because the flowers always came with one strange detail. The person leaving them somehow knew things about her that nobody else knew. On the first night, there were 12 white roses. On the second, 11, then 10, every night, one fewer. Until the 13th night, there was only one rose, and attached to it was a tiny piece of paper, 3 words, "I remember you." Olivia stared at the note. She didn't know who had written it, but the handwriting looked strangely familiar. Olivia lived alone in a quiet apartment building on the edge of the city. She was 27 and worked as a graphic designer. Her life wasn't exciting. She went to work, came home, made dinner, watched old movies, then slept. She had never been the kind of woman who expected someone to surprise her, especially not with flowers. But on the first night, she found 12 white roses outside her door. She looked down the hallway, nobody. She checked the security camera, nothing. The camera showed an empty hallway, yet the flowers were there. The second night, 11 roses. The third, 10. Olivia began counting. Every night, exactly one flower disappeared. On the 7th night, she called her best friend Sarah. Sarah laughed. "Maybe you have a secret admirer." "I don't." "You don't know that." "I would know. Maybe he's shy, or maybe he's a serial killer." Sarah stopped laughing. "Okay, that's less romantic." Olivia smiled, but she still felt uneasy. On the 15th night, Olivia stayed awake. She turned off every light. She sat behind the door with her phone in her hand. 11:55, 11:57, 11:59, midnight, nothing. She waited. Then, 3 soft knocks. Olivia's heart jumped. She moved toward the door. Another knock. She looked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. She opened the door. A single white rose lay on the floor. But this time, there was something else. A photograph. Olivia picked it up. Her breath stopped. It was a picture of her. Not recently. She was a little girl, maybe 8 years old, standing beside a lake. She stared at the photograph. She didn't remember that day. On the back was a sentence. "You promised you'd come back." Olivia's hands began to shake. She called Sarah, then the police. But before anyone arrived, the photograph disappeared. Mena. The next morning, Olivia visited her mother. She placed the photograph's description in front of her. Her mother's expression changed immediately. "You remember the lake?" "No." Her mother became quiet. "Mom, what happened there?" "Nothing. That isn't true." Her mother looked away. "Olivia, some memories are better left alone." "Why?" "Because remembering doesn't always bring happiness." Olivia stared at her. "What happened to me?" Her mother sighed. "You had a childhood friend." "Who?" "A boy." "What was his name?" Her mother hesitated. "Ethan." Olivia felt a strange pain in her chest. "Where is he now?" Her mother didn't answer. "Mom, he died." Olivia froze. "How?" "An accident." "When?" 6 years ago." Olivia stared at the floor. Something wasn't right. She was 27. 6 years ago, she had been 21. She remembered that year. She remembered college. She remembered moving to the city. She remembered everything except Ethan. That night, there were no flowers. Olivia waited. Midnight passed. Nothing. 12:30. Nothing. 1 o'clock. Still nothing. She finally went to bed. Then she heard something, a soft sound outside. She opened her door. A man was standing at the end of the hallway, dark coat, hands in his pockets, his face partly hidden by the dim light. Olivia froze. "Who are you?" The man didn't answer. He looked at her for several seconds, then said, "Your favorite flower was never roses." Olivia's heart stopped. "How do you know that?" He smiled sadly. "Because I used to bring you something else." "What?" "Sunflowers." Then he turned and walked away. Olivia ran after him. But when she reached the elevator, he was gone. Minio lied what? Something inside her told her to go. The lake was almost empty. The moon reflected on the water. She walked toward the old wooden bridge. Then she saw something carved into the railing. 2 names. Asterisk, asterisk, Olivia, plus Ethan, asterisk, asterisk. Below them were 2 dates, her birthday, and Ethan's. Olivia touched the carving. Suddenly, a memory hit her. A boy laughing, a bicycle, sunflowers, a picnic near the lake, and Ethan saying, "Promise me you'll never forget me." Young Olivia laughed. I could never forget you. The memory vanished. Olivia stepped backward. She began crying. I knew you. A voice came from behind her. Yes. She turned. The stranger stood there. This time, she could see his face. Olivia's eyes widened. It was Ethan, or someone who looked exactly like him. Ethan. He nodded. Olivia couldn't move. But you're dead. I know. You died 6 years ago. I was supposed to. What does that mean? Ethan took a deep breath. 6 years ago, we were at this lake. I remember. You found something you weren't supposed to find. What? A secret. He explained that Olivia's father, a powerful businessman, had been involved in a dangerous business dispute. Ethan had discovered evidence that someone inside Olivia's father's company was stealing millions. He planned to expose it, but someone found out. That night, Ethan was chased to the lake. Olivia followed him. There was an accident. Ethan survived, but barely. Someone took him away before the police arrived. Who? Ethan looked at her. Your father. Olivia stared at him. My father? He wasn't trying to kill me. Then why did he hide you? Because he believed the people after me would come after you too. Olivia shook her head. Why didn't you come back? I tried. Then why? Ethan looked down. I lost my memory. Olivia went silent. What? I woke up in another city. I didn't remember my name. I didn't remember you. He touched his chest. But there were things I couldn't forget. What? Your voice. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. And the flowers? Ethan smiled. I remembered you loved sunflowers. Then why roses? Because I wanted you to become curious. She laughed through her tears. You scared me. I know. I thought you were some stranger. Ethan looked at her. I was. Why? Because when I finally remembered who I was, he paused. I was afraid you had moved on. Olivia stepped closer. You could have called. I didn't know if you wanted me back. I spent years feeling like something was missing. Ethan's eyes filled with tears. So did I. She reached for his hand, then stopped. Why only one rose tonight? Ethan smiled. Because the flowers were counting down. To what? To the night I finally had the courage to come back. Olivia whispered. You're late. I know. She smiled. But you're here. For the first time in 6 years, they sat beside the lake together. Ethan told her everything. Her father had secretly protected him. He had arranged treatment under another name. He had asked Ethan to stay away until the danger disappeared. But Olivia's father had never told her the truth. He thought he was protecting his daughter. Instead, he had taken away 6 years of her life. When Olivia returned home, she confronted him. Why didn't you tell me? Her father looked exhausted. Because I was afraid. Of what? Of losing you. You already lost me. He looked down. I thought if you forgot Ethan, you would be safe. Olivia's voice broke. You don't get to decide what I remember. Her father nodded. You're right. For the first time, Olivia saw tears in his eyes. I made a terrible mistake. A week later, Olivia found one final bouquet outside her door. This time, there were no roses. There were sunflowers. She smiled. There was a note attached. You promised you'd never forget me. Olivia turned around. Ethan was standing at the end of the hallway. She walked toward him. You know, she smiled. I don't think I ever really forgot you. Ethan looked at her. Then what happened? Olivia took his hand. I think my heart remembered before my mind did. He smiled. Then they walked away together. Months later, Olivia and Ethan returned to the lake, the same place where they had once promised to find each other again. The flowers were still growing near the water. Olivia looked at Ethan. Do you ever regret coming back? He shook his head. Never. Even after everything? Especially after everything. She smiled. Then Ethan reached into his pocket. He pulled out a small photograph. It was the same picture of them as children, but on the back was something Olivia had never seen before. A message. If we ever get separated, leave flowers. Olivia stared at it. Then she laughed softly. You wrote this? Ethan nodded. When we were kids. She looked at him. You really thought we'd get separated? He smiled. I was 8. And apparently very dramatic. Apparently. Olivia leaned against his shoulder. The sun began setting over the lake. For years she had believed the flowers were a warning, a mystery, a reminder of something terrible. But they had been something else, a promise, a message from the past, a way for two people who had lost each other to find their way home. And every night after that, Olivia never feared the flowers again, because now she knew who was leaving them, and she knew exactly why. He wasn't trying to remind her of the past. He was reminding her that some promises survive even when memories don't.